So hi guys, SimUK here. This is third time lucky, I guess, on SimUK. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like my mic is working on this Steam multiplayer server, so nobody can hear what I'm saying, which is a bit of a pain in the ass because the only way I can communicate with them is via messaging. Is Alan getting impatient with me there? So Alan's doing a super long trip up to Rostock. I couldn't find a journey to Rostock, so I've got one to Cologne. But I'll probably just end up following Alan. I don't really know where he's going. Because they can't hear me when I speak, it makes it very difficult to sort of collaborate on what we're doing. But there's three of us today. There's me, there's Alan. I want to keep a good distance behind Alan because being on the MP server, I can see that it's a little bit glitchy at times. Plus I'm trying out the G29 today, first time I've used this. Feels completely different if I'm being honest. In this game at least. But we are on the same server at the same time and driving fairly safely, so that's good. Trying to keep an even distance between the three of us. Last thing I want to do is drive into them. So there's me, there's Alan Sherwood. Alan's leading the way. And following up on the rear is driver some numbers. I can't remember what the numbers are. At some point he'll probably overtake me, especially at this speed. Quaint. We're in Luxembourg at the moment, so it's quite a long drive all the way up to Rostock, about 3,500 miles or something ridiculous. Oh! I also have incredibly unresponsive brakes. I just think it's more realistic, but I think I've possibly got the setting down too low because it's actually really difficult to stop, which is causing a few problems at the moment. With Alan's truck sort of jumping forwards and backwards every now and then, it's difficult to judge where he actually is. So this is a brand new profile, hooked it up specifically to play on multiplayer because I don't want to corrupt my single player campaign. I'd like to start doing some Let's Play videos on that. So today it's a case of just getting a taste for the MP, I guess. Really, the first thing I've discovered is it's really difficult to judge what speed he's doing and whether he's slowing down or accelerating. I desperately don't want to drive into the back of the guy, but if he pulls too far ahead he tends to slow down, which is just kind of exacerbating things. Oh, his brake lights came on there, I saw it. So Alan's just explaining there that it's difficult for him to talk and drive because he's got to hold the button down. That's interesting. Maybe there's a button to talk. Maybe if we pull up at some lights and we're all stopped for a minute, I can ask Alan what button it is that he's pressing to speak. Maybe that's why he can't hear me. In fact, you know, that would make perfect sense. But having never been on MP before, well, never really been on multiplayer before, it's difficult to know whether or not it will work. In fact, it's difficult to know which button to press because I've never done it before. I'll catch him up. Yeah, we're all right, Alan. Where's my old horn? So I want to jump out into some of the other cameras. Whoa! Sounds good, Alan. I wasn't expecting you to slow down there, buddy. Oh, just... What does flashing lights mean? Does that mean go or don't go? So I'm accidentally leading this pack now. That was not part of my intention. So what I need to do is figure out a good... Sounds good. Right, so I'm going to beep twice and then stop. So let's try this. Let's have a go at this now. See if there's a button to speak. Yeah, I know, Alan. I know it's a right. I'm just trying to talk to you guys. Let me see here. Right, let's see if that's fixed it. Hey guys, can you hear me? That hasn't worked. Can you hear me, guys? Well, I tried setting that up. I bound the speak key to spacebar, which I didn't really want to do, but spacebar was already pre-bound to handbrake, so every time I try and speak I now slam the handbrake on. Not a good combination of situations there. I have to think of a better key to bind talking But I'm quite happy to sit behind driver 25645. He seems to know what he's doing, he says, as he veers wildly across the motorway lanes. Driver 2565 seems to be more stable on the server, it seems to me. He doesn't seem to be glitching about quite so much. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I have my brakes configured so that they're not that responsive. I think maybe they could do with a tweak, but God blimey, these two pull away quick. I have got the cheapest of the cheapest trucks. Don't know who that was, just saying hello. Being a courteous trucker. Hey, this is a cool bridge, look at this. So the reality is, guys, I do not know why my microphone is not working. Did a microphone test, the microphone test worked fine. We're on channel 19, which is the correct channel. Yeah, no idea really, no idea. I keep driving on to the left of the road because I'm used to having been driving European trucks for the last sort of half an hour. So I need to remember to stay over here on the right. As soon as I'm adamant that I'm going to stay in a UK truck. Despite all the negatives that come with that. Incidentally, I have a theory about why people should drive on the left and not on the right. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. I'll share that with you right now. So, the majority of people on the planet, not just in Britain or Europe or America, but on the entire planet, oh, they're going to Cologne. What a great bunch of guys. Or at least I think they are. If they carry straight on, I'm just going to have to forget my delivery, I guess, which is going to cost me a lot of money, but it looks like they are going to Cologne. Oh, took my eyes off the ball there for a second. I'll tell you my theory in a second, guys. I'm just going to get down the bottom of this hill, see which way these two guys are going. Obviously being careful down the bottom here for other players. See if we can get a quick camera view here. Terrible gear change. So I'm in the Iveco. I'm in the Iveco today. British Racing Green. It's a shame I can't talk to these two guys because of my mic situation. But yes, so my theory is that the vast majority of human beings on planet Earth are actually right-handed. Oh, there's my delivery already, look. The lights are red. So, I'm not sure if they're waiting for me to go and do my delivery. All good, Alan, all good. Alan's a good leader. I didn't mean to overtake him earlier, that was a complete accident. I'll get to my theory now, shall I? Instead of all this babbling. Yeah, because the vast majority of people are right-handed, it seems logical to me that you should always have your right hand on the wheel and have your left hand for the gears. That's my theory. That's why I think we should drive on the left-hand side of the road. Interested in your thoughts on that? Oh, the guys are going. The guys are going without me. I think what I'm going to do is drop my delivery off, seeing as it's right there. And I did say to them I was going to Cologne, and then I can catch them up with a bit of speeding thereafter. I knew he was going to say that. I wish... Good lad, good lad. That's it, Alan. You got it, mate. I'll catch you up, guys. Don't worry. So they're heading to Rostock. I'm going to try and drop this delivery off. And then myself find another job to Rostock. If I can, great. If I can't, that's no big deal. It is an absolute shame, I have to say, that I've been unable to chat with these guys though. Oh, what's the issue here? I'm gonna have to go right and then left. Okay, I get it, I get it. So it's going to take some work to catch those two guys up, I think. No idea why the truck just stalled then. I wasn't in gear or anything. Come on, lights. Come on, you lights. Come on, bloody hell. I'm really tempted to take the fine. Hey, look, we got the cathedral at Cologne. There is some detail in this, and the spirey thing. I don't know what that's called. And the bridge, actually. I didn't realise how detailed ETS 2 was. Goodness me. So guys, whoa, had a weird glitch moment there. Thanks for joining me for the MP. I'm going to try and catch up with the two guys in a minute, but just quickly wanted to say thank you very much for all your inputs from the last two videos where I was having serious issues. Really appreciate that. And yeah, thanks very much, guys. Okay, we're going to do a turn around here. It's going to be tight. Oh, it's going to be tight. I think we're okay, actually. I might lose the mirror, but oh, it is close. Now, I'm very conscious that they're getting further and further and further away, so I do want to get this sort of done as quick as possible. So this might not be pretty. So I'm going for fast. Whoops. Oh, that went a bit wrong at the end there. And I nearly... Perfect. Come on, decouple. Excellent. Perfect. Oh, what have we got here? I'll just hold on to that. I'll just keep that skill. I'll just keep that skill. Now, the question I have to ask myself is, do I take a job to Rostock and try and catch them, or ditch the job idea and just try and catch them? I'd like to catch them either way. There's nothing. Where's Cassell? No, that's going the wrong way. No, nothing. Okay. That's going to make things easier for us. So I really am just going to tank it now. Lights are green. I ought to set a waypoint to help me in the GPS, but excellent. Oh, I've got a moment now, I suppose. Let's go to the map and where is Rostock? There it is. Be a long video, this, guys. I guess that's kind of you know, something you just have to accept from a multiplayer server. Maybe you can't all get deliveries to the right location, to the same location. I was hoping to get something a bit closer to Rostock though, but I just couldn't find a thing. And I guess that's, you know, that's it. That's just the way it is. Luck of the draw. Pretty much like these lights. So if there is a button to speak in this game, I don't know what it is. Oh, I could have tried to get a job there, couldn't I? I'll just rock on up, try and catch these two. I'm not worried about speeding tickets. We made about 4,500 on that last job, so we can take a few fines. Red lights on the other hand. Oh, well. As I mentioned earlier, oh, actually it's, oh, what? I can only go into... I can only go in to change my settings once the truck is stopped. Okay. That's probably fair. So yeah, what I could do is make my brakes a little bit more responsive, because that was flat out brakes then with no trailer on the back, and I still couldn't stop. Admittedly, I'm doing like 90 kilometers an hour in an area where you're only supposed to do 30, so there is that. I'll take that into consideration. But yeah, hopefully I'll catch these guys pretty quickly. I don't know. Oh, an update to the sailing simulator. Sail away. Oh, goody. I look forward to getting on that. So I wasn't meant to be doing any kind of work-related things today. I wasn't intending on making a video, but yeah, I had arranged to hook up with Alan. I was actually aiming to do it this evening, but he happened to be online as I was unpacking and setting up my G27. Excuse me, as I was unpacking my G27 and unpacking and setting up my new G29, which I ordered due to the issues I was having with the G27. Right, let's sort these brakes out, because they are a little bit a little bit unresponsive. Braking intensity, let's just bring it up to about 25 so that there is some brake. That's one thing I've always found, even back when I played this game a lot, was that the braking just didn't feel that great, if I'm being perfectly honest. Destroying these gears. Trying to get Assetto Corsa style quick acceleration. So yeah, I haven't really bound all my buttons yet. I get flustered when I come up to a junction and I want to put my handbrake on. I can't remember which button is the handbrake and which one is the horn. I suppose it's not the end of the world if you get the wrong one there, but I've also got to take into consideration the fact that sometimes I'm going to go for the horn and hit the handbrake, so there is a bit of an issue. Now hopefully cornering at speed like this is how I'm going to catch these guys up. It would be great to catch them up. I didn't want to go to Cologne, but that was the only job I had that was heading anywhere near Rostock, and Rostock is a huge distance away from here, so it's probably wise that I didn't grab a trailer, because I think catching them would be pretty much impossible had I have done that. We seem to be trucking along quite nicely now. One of the things I haven't done is configure my gears so I can go up into 12th. So I'm kind of stuck until I stop again, and then I can configure a button for that. Quite annoying. See if I can get a nice drive-by over this bridge. Not with driving like that. Whoa! A little bit all over the place there, but never mind. These guys must be close. They must be close. I mean, they were driving properly, as you would expect. But it did take me quite a while to get to Cologne and drop that trailer off. Plus I can't get into top gear. I wonder if it's a good idea just to stop momentarily and just sort of get myself that 12th gear so that I can catch these guys a bit quicker. As I say, I got 13k, 13,000 euros in the bank. I'm not too worried about getting the odd speeding ticket. I try not to drive through the red lights, but I do want to catch these guys. I do want to catch them up. It's a shame because this is a lovely stretch as well. What is that up there? Is that a rock? I think that might be a rock. So yeah, anyway, I'm on the G29 today. There are some positives and some negatives. I've got the shifter as part of the pack, and I did this because I was suffering quite significantly with the G27 last week. If you watched the last episode of ETS 2, then you'll know that already. Pretty much, though, the G29 marginally, at the moment, is marginally better, but not as a like-for-like comparison. So, to explain myself, the G27 had 6 buttons on the steering wheel, and then on the shifter you had the 4 red buttons plus another 8 above that, which was nice. Now, for some reason, I was expecting the G29 shifter to have that same set of buttons on the shifter, but it does not. Obviously the steering wheel, I've got the G29 version, not the 290, or 920 I should say. So basically all those buttons that were on the shifter are now on the steering wheel. I can understand why they did that. What I can't understand is why they haven't kept the buttons on the shifter as well. That's what I was really hoping for. So I am pretty disappointed that that isn't the case. That's a massive down point for me. Having the buttons on the steering wheel is a massive plus point. That being said, the actual steering force feedback and feeling and responsiveness is better. Am I at Rostock already? If I am, that means I didn't catch them. Let me just zoom out here and... God, where are these guys? They don't hang about, do they? So I'm expecting right now that they're up into 12th gear and I can't get there. So in the interests of going faster, let's set up a button for that. Maybe don't do that there, maybe do that here. Yeah, there we go. I don't want automatic, no. Shifter toggle 1. Shifter toggles use switch mode. I don't know what that means. Let's just find a button for that. That'll do. Yeah, that's not working. Let's try it that way around. I'm not too worried about the low gears. It's just the high gears. There we go. Should have indicated there as I pulled out. There's nobody about. I think even Alan and driver, whatever his number was, I think they've... I'm not even sure if they're on the server anymore. I might just be hunting down nobody. But we'll keep going. We'll keep going because I do want to catch these guys up. Why am I limited to 90 kilometers an hour? I've just gained a gear but no speed. I think that was a message. If I bring this up, oh good, I can still drive. Alan got lost. Meet up at Cologne. On way to Rostock. Okay, so Alan's still about then, that's good. It sounds like he said he got lost. Not sure what that means. It's a damn shame that for some reason my mic isn't working. The other day Alan could hear me fine, but he can't hear me today. Which is a real shame. And imminently my beautiful now 5-year-old daughter is going to be bursting through the door and quite possibly wanting to have a chat with me, maybe even have a drive. So I'm going to have to deal with that situation. Oh, we are tanking it. I think for a moment there I might have been close to 2 wheels. But Alan and driver would not have gone through there at that speed, so for them to say they'll meet me in Cologne is interesting. They must have at least expected me to try and catch them up, I guess. Just make sure I know where my horn button is in case they come flying past me in the opposite direction. Maybe do a handbrake turn over this bit. But I don't know where they are. I don't know where they are at all. And I'm a little bit all over the motorway, but when there's no cars, you know, the incentive to stay in your lane is vastly reduced. Getting 61 FPS though, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Just shows that it can be done. Hey, look at that combine over there. Maybe a John Deere, an old John Deere perhaps. It's nice that they have these kind of moving objects in this game. So you guys know that I'm a massive fan of a Fernbus Coach Simulator, and I love how occasionally the AI will have an accident that doesn't involve you at all. You might think I'm joking when I say that, but I'm genuinely not, because that stuff happens on the motorway all the time. So to see that makes the game feel more realistic for me, and it gives you something to talk about. Do you remember that time when we drove to wherever it is you're driving to, and that truck flipped out and took out that police car? Stuff like that sticks in your head. Well, that kind of thing doesn't happen here on ETS 2, but seeing that combine harvester there, just harvesting the field, similar kind of thing. If you could combine those two things together, you'd really have something special. Do you know, I don't think I'm going to catch these guys. I didn't think they'd be anywhere near this far away. I rather think that maybe my truck is limited to 89 kilometers somehow, and maybe I could turn it off, but I don't know how. So I might actually be going sort of 10 kilometers slower than they are permanently, despite them having trailers and me not having a trailer. This is going to be a long drive of not much happening at the moment. Maybe I shouldn't have dropped my delivery off, I don't know. But I've only got 13,000k. You know, if I'd have just disappeared off to Rostock with a delivery due for Cologne, then they'd have taken all my money. I wouldn't have had any money left at all. Looking good for fuel. Where the heck are these guys? Ah! I knew I was going to hit something eventually. Just trying to get that message out as quick as I could. And I know there were typos in that. Unfortunately, that is a byproduct of my head injury back in 2009. For some reason, now when I type, I just put letters in random sequences sometimes, especially when I'm trying to do it quickly. Happens more frequently when I do that. Sign to Rostock. Crikey Moses, these guys must be absolutely tanking it. Right, it's going to be tight. We're good, we are good. Decent racing line through there. Kept our wheels on the ground. I seriously thought I'd have caught up with these guys by now. Oh, blimey. 2 little spikes there, drop down to 35 and then 40. Is that Alan? Don't know who that was. They went past so fast. Not a clue who that was. Did I hear a message come up? Near Rostock, meet there. Okay. So if we just check. Yeah, we're near Rostock now. Whoa. So I guess basically, guys, I'm going to say that for a first test, hey, we just leveled up. That's pretty cool. For a first test, I think it went okay. You know, we all managed to meet up. We didn't all manage to get to the destination together, but I did ask the guys before we set off if we could do a waypoint via Cologne. But you know, deadlines are tight. Maybe they wouldn't have been able to do that and get their deliveries to their destinations on time. But I didn't just want to do this. I didn't just want to drive behind them with no trailer on the back of the truck. That seemed a bit pants. And I'm amazed how much dropping that trailer off at Cologne has held me up. Absolutely amazed at that. That being said, I do seem to be limited to 90 kilometers an hour, which is not fast. And the way that Alan and Driver were driving earlier in the little towns where we started off in Luxembourg, I don't think they were adhering to speed limits so much, and that kind of suggests to me that their trucks aren't limited in speed either. I don't know. Maybe not. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, of course, the problem was at the beginning of this one, when Alan picked Rostock, there was a delay whilst I was trying to find one for Rostock and couldn't. Then there was a further delay whilst I tried to sort out my my microphone, but already both guys had picked up. No, actually, I think Alan had picked up his trailer already ready to go, and basically I wasn't ready to go. I wasn't ready to go. So that held them up, which meant that they had to go quickly and couldn't sort of do a detour, I guess, to Cologne like I had to. So yeah, not a complete success. Not a complete success. Okay, we're at Rostock. I do not want to tip it now. Having driven all this way to catch up with them, to tip it now would be a disaster. So yes, as well guys, my daughter turned 5 at the weekend, last weekend, or the week before last weekend, whatever. I forget now where I am in the world. She had an absolute blinder. She was so happy, and that obviously makes her mother and me very happy. I've just realised she's gone to gym tonight, so she's not going to be bursting in any moment. That's good. I did actually mean to go to the gym and watch her, but being a bad dad. There's a Renault garage. I have a Renault car, I've had a few, hated all of them. Highly recommend you don't buy a Renault of any kind. Why did you just cut out? I see a little dot. I see a little dot on the GPS. Is it Alan? I don't know. I'll have to get closer. In fact, I see 2 dots. And it looks like you can't get over to those dots. So I don't know what they are. Oh, I see. I accidentally set 2 destination points. Well, that's interesting. That probably caused me some problems. Why does this flipping truck cut out when I'm not in gear and I slow down? I don't know where those 2 are going. They seem to be leaving Rostock. Maybe they're on their next destination already. That might not even be them. Why are the red lights so flipping slow here? Right. I don't want to crash into anybody, but I'm trying to catch these 2 guys. Oh. Yep, I did do that. Where the heck have they gone? Completely lost them. Completely lost them. Oh, they've gone. Oh, they've left. Okay. Well, looks like I don't know what's happened. Looks like that was a complete disaster almost. But we did get 1 delivery done, and I experienced Rostock and multiplayer servers for the first time. So that's something at least. Oh, there's actually a person, look. Driving a car on Truck Simulator multiplayer. Stranger things happen at sea. So guys, thank you very much for joining me. This is just a test really to see how we get on. There's a message from Alan. I'm going to call this a day because that's nearly an hour of driving. and say thank you very much for all your kind words from the previous videos, and thank you for wishing my daughter a happy birthday, those of you that did. And hopefully I'll see you again soon, and at some point in the future I'm going to try and hook up a proper convoy where everybody can just join up, and I don't know how well that's going to work about getting deliveries to specific destinations, but anyway, we'll see what we can do. Thanks for watching, take care of yourselves, until next time, goodbye.